Hey, Segovia, back with another one. Hope everyone out there is having a good day. Y'all. On today's episode, we got mysterious videos from the dark side of TikTok. You guys ready to get into it? Let's have some fun today, y'all. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Now, I know a lot of you guys may know Mario Lopez. For those who don't, he was in a show called Saved by the Bell. But he was in a lot of shows and TV shows since then. However, what many of you don't know is he believes he owes his entire life to a witch doctor. Yeah, you didn't know that, did you? Check out this clip where he says it himself.
You owe your entire life to a witch doctor?
Oh, damn, that's a mean deep cut right there.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's old school. Yeah, when I was little, my my stomach wasn't fully formed or something, and I was born like 8.5, and then I whittled down to like 4 because I couldn't hold anything in. And the priest came and blessed me, and I was like a goner. But my dad, it sounds crazy when I tell the story, but my dad sort of kidnapped me from the hospital and took me to this like bruja, which is like a Mexican witch doctor down in Ensenada and in Mexico. 'Cause I grew up right by the border. First generation kid, but my parents are old school. So they took me down there, and the lady had fixed my dad's leg that he thought was going to have to be amputated earlier because of some accident, but she ended up squaring him away. So he took me down there, and she had him mix this crazy concoction into this carnation milk and started giving it to me. And slowly I started getting better. And here
That's
I am.
insane.
It's crazy. I say it out loud. It sounds, I don't really
I know,
believe
but
it,
I mean,
yeah,
that's kind of a cool thing to be like, yeah, a witch doctor
Yes.
started this whole thing.
Yeah, so I guess I'm a believer of alternative medicine.
Yeah, I think so. That's a
Witch
pretty
doctor.
cool story, though. Like, that's
It's a true story. I mean, my dad always shows me because he showed me when I was younger the bills that he spent trying to keep my ass alive.
that's incredible.
And all it took was one trip down to Ensenada.
One trip down to this lady with her she put me on and rubbed my belly and did a whole thing. My dad says, I didn't believe him until my mom told me. My mom never listened. So
Wow.
they said, yeah.
Incredible.
So Mario had no idea that this happened to him until his parents told him. Here's what I want to say, guys. If you're a parent and you give your child to a witch doctor, that doesn't come without a price. I don't know if you guys have read the book, He Came to Set the Captives Free, but the same thing happened with her. And then when she got older, Satan expected her. So who knows what the price was with this situation. But don't get yourself involved in this type of stuff, guys. Because it is going to be a price that is paid. I pray if Mario hasn't found truth yet, that he finds it. Prayerfully, his parents came into repentance. I don't really know his life, but when I seen this story, it blew my mind. And I had to share it with you guys. May the Lord intervene. Amen.
Yeah, you won't even fucking believe it. I'll tell you that.
Please.
Atlantis.
Atlantis, the sunken city?
Yeah,
There's a connection?
there's a connection.
What's the connection?
That there's a very advanced group that left after a catastrophe and hung around in a small outpost here, and throughout time would push civilization forward, and that's who the Greek gods were.
Whoa.
Yep, and that's why it's very interesting when the Roswell wreckage there's Greek writing.
Is there?
There is.
I've never seen any of the wreckage from Roswell. Have you?
It's online. You see it. Type in Roswell wreckage. You can see it.
Well,
Type in
all I've ever seen is the dude standing in front of the bullshit, the weather balloon
No,
stuff, where
look
they're
up-
laughing and yucking it up.
Roswell wreckage, Roswell I-beam. You'll see it. And it's got these Greek markings. And the witnesses that were there did what do you call it? Where they go on oath and tell. So that
Actual I-beam showing the word Eleftheria.
which means freedom in ancient Greek. So
Where's that from, Jamie?
let me tell you.
I don't know. It popped up on it.
Well,
I'm going to tell you something else. So I went and met a former director of CIA and NSA. He was director of both. I won't tell you his name. And right when I sat down and told him about my book,
pull that picture up again. Look at those little hands.
and right when I sat down and told him about this is a big deal.
Okay,
what I'm
go,
saying. So I'm sitting with this guy. He was like, not that long ago, was director of CIA, and he went on to be director of NSA.
Okay. Well, I think we can find his name.
Maybe. But right when I sat down and told him about the book, you know what he says to me?
What?
He goes, I didn't read much science fiction as a kid, but I read a lot about Greek mythology. And looked me in the eye. I said, well, you're going to love the last page of my book then. He's like, am I? And when my book was about ready to go to pressing, I had a very important person call me up. He says, can you stop that pressing and maybe insert something about Greek mythology? And I said, I sure can. So something you got to realize is, for example, the 6th biggest defense contractor in the world, at least they used to be 6, is a company called Science Applications International Corporation, SAIC. Their headquarters are actually in San Diego. And in the front of the building, you have an obelisk coming out of a fake lake and 2 Atlantean on thrones. And they're both holding pyramids. And one says the past and one says the future. And they're 8-foot tall statues. It's fucking nuts, by the way.
About all that Zechariah Sitchin stuff.
I think he was close. I don't think he was exact, but it's interpretive. You know, if I was to show you some symbols.
For people who don't know what that is.
Zechariah Sitchin is a Palestinian scholar that decoded a lot of ancient Sumerian texts that were written in Akkadian. Sumer was like kind of the first civilization that was advanced that we even know of, just out of nowhere here, like 3,500 years before Christ. There's mathematics, astronomy, and all this different shit. They knew all the planets. They said there's an extra planet. But Zechariah Sitchin was the one that really spent a lot of time doing that. And there's a lot of other scholars that disagree. Now he can say, you know, in those texts is the story of the Garden of Eden, the flood of Noah, like all that shit. But his take on it was those who from heaven to earth came, called them angels, but they were an advanced race. They fucked around with genetics.
Well, that was his take on the definition of Nephilim.
Which you find that in Genesis, the Nephilim. So, you know, he was able to tell a really interesting story based on these texts. And but some people don't agree with him. But at the end of the day, I think it's the closest thing we got. And in my early conversations, when I was being given some interesting science fiction stuff for my book, the Greek mythology part, I brought up the Sumerians, and they showed me one particular king. They said, we find this one very interesting. And I can't remember his name, but it fired so quick when I asked the question. It came right back with this whole thing on this one Sumerian king. Really interesting.
This is how all empires end. They've hijacked our country. They've hijacked our treasury. And instead of investing money in our own country, China actually does that. They invest in their own country. We're not doing that. The people who run the country, the handful of billionaires, are just sucking the treasury dry. And they just keep printing money, and they will not invest because they don't care. As George Carlin said, they don't care about you. They don't give an F about you. They don't care. And he said it over. Remember in that special, he kept saying, they don't care about you. They don't care about you. You don't have elected officials. You have owners. There's an owner class, and they own you. And they're coming for your Social Security. And that's also happening. They're coming for your Medicaid. And anyway, again, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. They're not doing what they said. They're not balancing the budget. They're not giving us free speech. They're not reining in the Pentagon. They're ramping up the Pentagon, and it's on steroids. And again, they're not investing in your own country. This is how all empires end, and we're ending.
I mean, I 100% agree. It seems like they're doing more work for Israel and the Israeli Gaza situation than they're doing for us. That's just what it looks like from the outside looking in. It's like they don't give a damn about us.
Yeah, it's all about the one man catching them. I mean, the tight end when Philadelphia catches that one in the championship game like that, give it a break. Yeah. Oh, that was we watched Rathman and Rick Jones and a bunch of dudes drop that ball. He just like this money. It's the glove, right? It stops the ball from rotating. That's it. It's just stop. Yeah, right in there. You watch it. When you watch it, they stick it up there, it stops it. You can watch it. Yeah. It stops it. So instead of what's sticking now, they just got that glove that just stops it. Ain't no sticking. They got a head back there. That's the head. That's the head of the day. That's got my call. Yeah. They got a whole different technology with the gloves. It's wonderful, but I mean, they all got them, so let's go. You still don't think OBJ's not great? Damn, you got a job. All right, so next.
We have these negative beings that do actually appear reptilian. They have vertical slit pupils. They have the scaly skin. They don't really have any long tails. They might have short little stubby tails. They do have claws on their fingers and feet. They don't have horns on their head. They do have the vertical slit pupils. They are very muscular, and they're very, very ferocious and terrifying. And they have been the ones that are going around and invading planets and causing trouble. And this seems to be where we get this archetypal idea of Satan and demons. Because when we look at what we think that is, it looks very, very similar to how these beings look.
We don't know how consciousness exists separate from the brain. But my dumb little theory is that that the brain, rather than being a transmitter of consciousness, rather than being the originator of consciousness, it's simply the brain is like a receiver, you know, like kind of like our brain is like effectively picking up the signal of our soul, you know. And so then if you take this analogy like a step further, then you know, you imagine like a radio picking up a signal. You know, you can take a sledgehammer, you can destroy the radio to no end, absolutely obliterate it, but you've done nothing to affect the signal that brain was receiving. So if you follow that analogy, then it kind of makes sense that we could have the death of our body, but have consciousness separate from the body. And I
just
think
like floating through the ether.
That's crazy. There's those Palo Verde plants I was talking about yesterday. Those things always get uprooted. But that's a bad storm right there. They took bushes out. Damn, that's Arizona, the desert. This baby is just rolling around in his crib. Damn, another round. Crazy. In Alaska too. Seems like all over the world this is happening.
Have you ever seen a library made of limestone and marble? This is Milwaukee, Wisconsin's public library. The inside is breathtaking and the outside is just luxurious. You really can go up and down Wisconsin Avenue and find all types of Tartarian structures everywhere. Hand-carved limestone, beautiful limestone carved into delicate pieces with Corinthian pillars everywhere. And don't forget the copper. They love copper.
The only other object in the solar system that has liquids on its surface is a moon of Saturn. It's called Titan. And that liquid is methane and ethane. It's very different than water. And Titan has oceans and rivers and lakes of methane and ethane. Temperature on the surface of Titan is just 90 degrees above absolute zero, so it's about a third of the temperature of Earth. What I would like to do if I had the opportunity is to go fishing there, because if we find fish in those oceans of methane and ethane on Titan, it would mean that there is life as we don't know it.
I don't trust her. I think she was set up to like be his wife.
Right.
And then, hey, if he turncoats, you're up. Because if you look at her, like,
because she's taking over Turning Point, right?
In within 2 weeks,
right?
You have a grieving wife, and she's on a podcast right away.
Right.
Hey, smiling. Oh yeah, I remember when we had just got smoked in front of everybody, JFK style, and you're smiling.
Yeah.
So that's weird. That's number one, right? The memorial. Can we all agree that shit looked like fucking, a WWE event? Like, that was WrestleMania.
Right.
Fireworks and all. I'm like, what is this? It's weird. That's strange. But if you look into her background, so you guys know that she was a pageant girl.
Yeah.
Right? So she was Miss Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
She won in, I believe it was 2012.
Yeah, something with Trump.
Well, Trump owned that pageant.
Right.
So she knew Trump. Okay. But then if you look into not only her, well, let me back up. When she was 17, she had worked with the military on charity efforts, working with a Romanian organization who got accused of
surprising.
Now, was she with Charlie Kirk before Charlie Kirk became Charlie Kirk? Or was she with him after he became who he was? That I don't know. Now, if she was with them before, now was he a plant? And she was a plant? Or was she with them after? Then I could really see that she was a plant. Because how she's acting now, that's not good.
He did pray for his enemies.
Look at how weird this is. This is weird.
Hard, but he did. He did. He did. No one else, I mean, I saw him do it. No, he never did it in front of anyone else, but I can attest to that.
Director Patel, there's been so many conspiracy theories swirling around about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Do you have any updates for us, especially in light of all the online content that everyone's been talking about?
The only thing we deal with at the FBI and the Department of Justice is facts. And he delivered at record speed a manhunt to capture Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin in 33 hours. And if you put that in perspective to Luigi Mangione with the Boston model, they took them 5 days and a police officer lost their life in their manhunt. We are running out absolutely every single lead. And the best thing we can do to honor my friend Charlie Kirk's life is to make sure that everyone involved is prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And that's what we're focused on, investigating the facts, not trading in conspiracy theories.
Conspiracy theories is what got them elected. But anyways, he said two things. One, 33 hours. Not 34, not 32, not 30, 33 hours. We know what that is. And then two, he said his alleged killer. Now, what does that mean? So he didn't do it? We don't know if he did it? Or are they playing that whole innocent until proven guilty thing that we know they follow? I don't know, y'all. I didn't really see much comments that I asked for yesterday about what do you guys think of how Trump's doing and all that. What do you think? I mean, what do you think? Imagine if that was Biden and Kamala saying those things. People would be real loud. I gotta go fix this baby after this. Trying to bang out 30 minutes. Feed him. He'll sleep. Bang out the other 30 minutes for you guys.
I think all our society is run by insane people for insane objectives. You know, and I think that's what I sussed when I was 16 and 12, way down the line. I think we're being run by maniacs for maniacal ends. You know?
Correct? What do you think?
I think no one made a bigger impact. And I know this personally from my grandfather announcing his death. John Lennon, imagine all the people.
My model of business is the Beatles. Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, he was a huge Beatles fan. He named his company Apple, the same name the Beatles gave theirs.
Anyway, now
you never can be anything else.
We are the Beatles. That's what we are. We're also Apple as well. See, they're like Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Brown.
Wouldn't that be something?
But we're dissatisfied because the current state didn't live up to their ideals. Without death, there would be very little progress.
Did you ever hear that theory how the CIA, they have their hooks a lot into rap, movies, and pretty much just all culture that comes out in media?
CIA?
The CIA, yeah.
Word.
You know that?
Nah.
This is like some dangerous theory.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be careful with this one.
Okay.
But Cat Williams said it. Yeah. Cat Williams said it. So he said that what they did was the CIA funded rappers to talk about gangster rap and gangster lifestyle.
I think it's a real situation that gangster rap was created by the government to encourage them to kill one another, and them, you know what them is.
You're basically saying that they were okay with making their lives more dangerous.
But think about it. A lot of the gangster rappers, they didn't go down or get proof of being even part of any illegal activity. So what does that mean? That means
playing a persona?
They're playing a persona. But why would they play the persona?
To influence the people?
To influence the other people and make them more excited to be part of a culture that's dooming the black youth. Which is fucked up.
Yeah. That's some shit that Cat Williams for sure said. Yeah.
Cat Williams, yeah.
Yeah, because if you wanna kill people, fam, you give the drug to the community.
And then with that came the movies, the glorifying of certain characters, and then the smart, college kid was always the outsider, the non-favorite one, right? Scarface, Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, all of them. Same plot, same everything. This guy's the top dog, this guy's not respect. You know what I mean? And then domino effect after that.
Look at these bitch ass niggas. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Bro, they wildin'. They smacked their ass. They smacked their ass.
Chaos, y'all.
Look at this shit. Look at this shit, bro. Shit, wow. Bitch. Let's go, bitch. Let's go. Yeah, they wildin' in this bitch. Wildin'. They throwing shit. I better watch out.
Fuck the police!
Chaos, y'all.
Look at him. Look at him. Yes, sir. I better watch
In the
out.
streets of America, this is going on.
Fuck the police! Look at this bitch. Fuck guys! Look at this bitch throwing that shit. Watch out, bro. That shit. Hey, fuck you,
It's all kids, too.
What?
Not even illegals. It's all kids.
So is this the peace talked about in Revelation, where the Antichrist will bring a false peace to the world? And this false peace will be marveled at, and everyone will look at this person as Superman. But then after 3.5 years, his true intentions will be shown, and then all utter chaos will break out. False peace. Is this a false peace? Then sudden destruction will follow. Or is this the peace and security that is talked about in 1 Thessalonians that comes right before sudden destruction? 1 Thessalonians 5:3, it says, for when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction will come upon them. And it compares it to a woman in labor pain. It also says that they shall not escape. All I know is that Jared Kushner is a big player in what's going on in these peace talks. Like, he is directly at the center of it all. Mind you, he's Donald Trump's son-in-law. Trump wants to be known as the peace president. He even wanted the Nobel Peace Prize. Heck, the prize was even dedicated to him. So is the peace president the Antichrist? Or is it Jared Kushner? Is it Benjamin Netanyahu? Are we even in that time? Here's what I'll say. They are all saying peace and security, and the war has came to a halt at the hands of Donald Trump. And all I'm saying is, if that is the case, then we can look for sudden destruction to probably follow after. There's never truly going to be any peace on this earth. Remember, Jesus said, I did not come to bring peace, but I came to bring a sword. So if you guys think that this is the end of it, you are sadly mistaken. Also, Israel cannot be trusted. I just feel like they're leading these people back to their home only to pull off something very devastating. I would not trust them, and I would go far, far away from the land of Gaza. That's all I'm saying.
And they tell you the truth, like always.
The alien ambassador is already here.
Whoa.
Not her. Him.
Hey, what's up, dude? You're an alien? All famous people are aliens.
I'm not.
I meant like really famous people.
It's just so obvious. I'll show you more in a second. But really quick, let me ask you this. Why is every Super Bowl, every Olympics, and any other main event always consumed by aliens? And of course, they're showing the mantis aliens. Teen girl abducted by praying mantis aliens. And this right here was the first alien commercial for this Super Bowl. Look at his hand. Why would he do that? It's not rocket science, y'all. They're saying that all the famous people are alien because they're not of this earthly plane, but of this outer dimension. And you know, these white aliens are supposed to be the good aliens out of all the other aliens that help humanity. Kind of like, you know, when those fallen angels came down to help humanity. And white trying to appear pure because, you know, Satan masquerades as an angel of light. Remember, like, Kendrick was surrounded by the people in white the entire time and they were the only ones left standing? Not everyone that looks human is human, and there's a great delusion coming, and they're straight up telling you. Remember Lil Wayne's I Am Not a Human? And the worship of these fallen angels continues. Nah, I'm just being stupid.
The person nearest to Trump is his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. Netanyahu was sleeping in Kushner's bed in the family home. Netanyahu's very, very close friend of Kushner's father, Charles Kushner, a real estate mogul who was jailed for illegal campaign contributions, tax evasion, and witness tampering. Jared has funded illegal settlements in Israel. A funder of AIPAC. He's got big business connections to George Soros, Trump. From day one, he handed the American economy to Stephen Mnuchin as his Treasury Secretary, also an ultra-Zionist. He named his own lawyer, the extreme Zionist David Friedman. Jason Greenblatt, he became U.S. Special Representative for International Negotiations, which include negotiations between Israel and the Palestinians. The Israeli regime is planning to push ahead because they own the President of the United States. This is the reality that we're facing.
There was no need for them to leave them kids in there. The other thing we've got to look at is they've not only left Madeline alone in the room, they've left 2 babies. I mean, it's a no-no. It's bang out of order. That's child abandonment. That is an offence under British statutory law, under the Children's Act, I think 1984. And if you commit an offence abroad, which would be an offence back home, you could be arrested for it. So why were they not arrested for child abandonment?
It's absolutely heartbreaking what's happened, and I don't think we'll ever get to the bottom of it. If that was just like a normal working class family, the parents would get charged for neglect. 2016, a mum went to Mallorca with her son, left a 7-year-old in the hotel room and went out partying. She did come back the next morning, but as you can imagine, the boy was taken into care while the authorities decided whether she was fit to be his mother or not. She was charged, and she did appear in court for it, and she got a suspended sentence. No one even pressed charges against these. But one rule for normal people, one rule for the elite.
Did you see what the head of FBI said about Charlie Kirk?
No.
He made an announcement on the news, and he says, rest easy. We have the watch now. I'll see you in Valhalla. That's what he said.
What's Valhalla?
That's like Warrior's Heaven.
Yeah.
But there's a crazy theory that dropped because the shooter of the Charlie Kirk shooting, there's a picture of him in his bedroom, and he has a computer screen, right? On his computer screen, there's a wallpaper of Goat Island. It's a place, I think, somewhere in Europe. I think it's Greenland. But anyways, there's a coffee shop called Valhalla.
Oh, wait.
In the last few months, when the Trump administration started, they were really pushing to get Greenland. You remember this? When they wanted to make Canada the 51st state, and they wanted to buy Greenland. There's a plane that took off, and they were trying to track it, and it turned off their comms and turned off their tracking, which is illegal. You can't do that. It left 30 minutes or a very short time away from when he was shot.
K-Fed is out here going ham, okay? And the thing, listen to what he says, though.
We, as a father, terrified that one day I might wake up and my sons are going to have to deal with the unimaginable. I kind of have to sound the alarm that I truly feel that somehow, some way, I just wish that their mom would get help. What's going on now, and I'm not going to get into details because I'm not going to just expose her personal life, but it's 10 times worse than anything that I've said in my book. I've stayed with my mouth shut for the sake of my family. I've tried to help my sons build a relationship with their mother, and I pray to God every day that she gets the help that she needs or wakes up and realizes that you have 2 sons right there in front of you that are screaming for a life with you, the same that they have with the rest of their family. At the end of the day, I just want Brittany to be around for her children for a long time.
Now, if you've been following me for a long time, I said this about a year ago, maybe even more than that. I think I've been posting on Brittany for about 2 years, that they were getting it ready to set it up for her to exit stage left. They are now at the point where they realize that none of us are buying it anymore, okay? And they have to, you know what they have to do, right? It's no more profitable for the insurance company to keep her around. You know what I'm saying? And in fact, I've been trying to tell y'all that I don't believe this is the real Brittany anyway. And she needs to go on and play another role, I suppose. I've been trying to tell everybody the original Brittany would have never been put under a conservatorship. Now here's what I see happening. There's been a lot of different videos with her being in Mexico on a boat where there's lots of water. Bathtub, jacuzzi, or ocean? Which one do you think it'll be?
Let me get this straight because I don't feel like enough people are talking about this. Deshaun Watson has been accused of SA again after, from the period of 2020 to 2022, he was accused of SA by about 26 women and settled lawsuits with like 23 of them. The NFL gave him a slap on the wrist and suspended him for 11 games and fined him $5 million. But what does that matter? Because he also signed a 5-year, $230 million guaranteed contract with the Cleveland Browns at the same time. But he has just been accused again by a woman going by the pseudonym Jane Doe, who says that she met Deshaun at a Houston bar and they had been texting for several months ever since. She wasn't finished getting ready, so when he got to her apartment building, she invited him to come up and sit in the living room and wait for her while she finished getting ready in the bathroom. She said he called her and was aggressively yelling and screaming about how he couldn't find her apartment and how he didn't have time for this. Then he comes in, he's supposed to be sitting in the living room waiting for her. She goes to the bathroom. She's trying to like make conversation with him from the bathroom and he's not responding. He's silent. So she assumes that he left. She comes out of her bathroom and he is laid naked on her bed, face down, and starts demanding that she gives him a massage. Keep in mind, the other almost 30 women that he assaulted were all masseuses. At this point, he allegedly aggressively SAs her. Her attorney said that they are going to meet with the NFL and they have video proof. They have 2 additional witnesses. Keep in mind, he has been in a committed relationship through this whole thing. Through the first scandal, through this current scandal, he's in a very public, committed relationship with his girlfriend. Y'all aren't about to sit here and tell me that all of these women are lying. Like, you're not. He denied all of it and is still going to be playing in an NFL game on Sunday. But as part of his contract with the Cleveland Browns, he had to sign on and say that he was going to give them a detailed list of everything he could possibly be accused of that had to do with that SA case from back in 2022. That just makes me think, so wait, y'all got a list of potential times this man has SA'd somebody without being caught? What the fuck is this? But if this particular case wasn't on that list, then the Browns could get out of paying him all that money they owe him, which would benefit the Cleveland Browns because he's been struggling on the field anyways. Yeah, him and his girlfriend just made an appearance on the new season of Selling Sunset, looking for a new home in LA. And ironically enough, according to his girlfriend's Instagram, she is a musician and she has a song out called I Must Really Love You. Okay, girl. And the funny thing is, these people don't care. This man has his child holding up a sign that says Free Watson and F them hoes. This one is extremely graphic and I don't want my video to get taken down, but it says happy endings are not illegal with a tip jar that has money in it. Oh, and they're selling t-shirts outside of the stadium that say, bitch, give me a massage.
I was just going to say, do you think there's something more sinister to
absolutely
like the collection of DNA from Nephilim potentially in the government? And what are your thoughts or theories on that?
When we broke the story on the Kandahar Giant, that's our story. That's Richard Shaw and my story. It's our story.
No way.
That's our story. We broke the story on it. That's our film. We talked to the shooter. We talked to the second witness. We, disguised their voice and blotted out their faces. That's our stuff.
Do you mind just giving a rundown of that?
Rick was on a show talking about our Watches series. And as he's doing that, there's a caller that calls in. And so the show ends, but the host holds the caller over because they're talking off air. And this guy, we call him the shooter. Yeah, I saw a giant. I was in the Kandahar province. We shot it. And Rick goes, oh my gosh. And they get phone numbers, emails. I'm on the phone with this guy the next day. And I spoke to the shooter 3 or 4 times. I met him in person in Ohio. And then we flew him out to California. We filmed him. So we vetted him first. He showed me all of his cards, all of his military stuff, blah, blah, blah. And every time he talks about the encounter, one part he breaks down and cries. He did it 3 or 4 times before we even got him on film. And so the story is this, that it's 2002, 2001, somewhere in that. If I could go back and look at the exact, I just don't remember it. But right around in that. So we're in Afghanistan. We're looking for high-value targets. American military looking for high-value targets in Afghanistan. And a patrol is dispatched. They miss their rally point. They miss their second rally point, their third rally point. Nobody knows where these guys are, and they're gone. So the next morning, another patrol is dispatched to the same location to try to follow this trail, see where they go. So they begin to follow the trail in the Kandahar province. And they find themselves way up high, overlooking the valley. There's like a cliff, very wide cliff, like a ledge, but it's not really a ledge. It's more like 20 or 30 feet, across. So you could camp there if you wanted to. And above that ledge is a cave. And as they're coming around the corner and they see all this, they start to see what looks like parts of radios, parts of uniforms, bones, blood.
Tell me why news exists. If your answer is, to keep you updated, it's all control. It's just meant to stir your emotions, create more chaos, create more anger, create more division. That's all it is. And the minute you catch on to that, you will start to free yourself, and you'll see how many people are stuck in this madness that you can call whatever you want. Matrix, simulation, whatever it is.
Yeah. They might send a stylist at you. What it is. And the stylist is being all extra tight. Listen, homie, we ain't doing that. Or they might invite you to a party and there's no bitches there. It's a sausage party. Wait, hold on. I'm out. Saying, you know what I mean? So a lot of guys, artists that get into this game, they want to get deals. They get in, they got talent, they got good intentions, and then
have you been to these parties personally? Have you seen them?
You can't make it to the real party because somewhere, if you're not a homosexual, they got a filtering out process.
Yeah.
So they'll send a stylist, they'll have you out and about because they trying to drug you. So you be in a studio session late at night, and they'll see if you a meatball, yo bro, here, hit this blunt. You ain't see the blunt get rolled, or yo bro, take this drink right here. And you like, hold on, bro, listen, homie, I ain't with that. And some dudes that get drunk, like I've been in studios with artists, famous artists, and I seen niggas take a bottle that wasn't theirs, and they in the studio all woozy. I'm like, I'm out. I don't know what happened to that person after.
Masons of California.
What does it sound like to you?
These beings still be able to cloak themselves the way that they have thus far, okay? The artificial intelligence and the kind of signals analysis that we're developing right now will expose these entities. We'll expose their craft constantly. We'll expose their any abductions that take place. They will not be able to operate clandestinely any longer if we reach the technological singularity. What's more significant is that the technological singularity means we achieve parity with them. Once you reach the technological singularity, you make more progress every year than in the last 100 years. You make more progress every few years than in the last 1,000 years. Okay? And so this notion that somehow these beings are like millions of years more advanced than us or no, it's not like that. They're simply one step beyond us.
I hope you guys understand. It's not aliens and it's fallen angels. It's not aliens. It's Dracos, the cloaking device. And then they're out here saying 3-Eye Atlas and they're Dracos. Please understand, those are the lizard people. And the reason why we have 3 to 4 million kids go missing a year. It's not Epstein. I want you to think that. They're saying that their cloaking device, through our AI singularity being above them, will unmask them. You guys understand what's about to happen? Next 10, 20 years? Do you guys understand? It's not disclosure. Fallen angel will be among us. It is the powers and principalities. Do y'all know what that even means in the Bible? It's not what your preacher has told you. Powers and principalities are angels, fallen angels. For we don't battle against flesh and blood, but the powers and principalities. They're talking about fallen angels. They're talking about Dracos. But hey, you're still waiting on your Antichrist. You're still waiting on Christ to return, which is consciousness. You guys have been misled in a way it's ridiculous. But hey, I would start praying, as you say, or meditating, and start asking yourself for these answers, and watch how the universe will give them to you. Not the devil, that's what you've been told. No, you. Peace of God. And it's not extra-dimensional or extraterrestrial. It's interdimensional. They've always been here. They just want you to think of space. That shit's fake. Even your Bible says, and the firmament show us his handiwork. And y'all still want to talk about space? Y'all still want to believe in science, which is a cult, which is a religion? Wake the fuck up.
When a child disappears in Disney World, there's no announcement, no sirens, no names, just silence. The protocol activates instantly, doors lock, certain exits seal from the inside, plainclothes staff begin moving, watching. Most guests don't even notice. They're too busy smiling, but employees talk, quietly, off record. One janitor said he saw a boy sitting under a ride that was closed for months. Another swore the girl they found had a different haircut than when she vanished. One security guard followed music into a storage tunnel and found a child standing still in the dark, singing a song he said wasn't in English. In almost every case, the child is found within 10 minutes. Always safe, always alone, always nearby, but not always. Right. Disney never comments. Parents never press charges. Most never speak at all. And still, the park's open every morning. Smiling faces, clean sidewalks, everything in place. Maybe that's why the protocol works. Because it doesn't rely on finding the child. It relies on everyone pretending they were never gone.
Oh, so, shit. You know what's funny about that? You know how many kids go missing every year at Disneyland? And not only that, why does Disneyland have its own police station? They have their own district of police.
And not only that, why when you sign up for Disney Plus, you sign up basically saying that you can't sue them?
That's true.
So if y'all have Disney Plus and you go to Disneyland, you know, you hurt yourself, Disneyland's not, they're not paying for shit.
Yeah, because there's a doctor who actually died at Disney World. The husband tried to sue Disneyland and they're like, oh, you know, we got to go to arbitration. You can't sue because in your agreement, when it comes to Disney Plus, look in your agreement in Disney Plus. Why do you think they rolled that out? So you can't get sued.
Nefarious.
There you go.
That's crazy. But that is true, y'all. I've been to Disneyland quite a few times, and I have never once heard, we are looking for so-and-so with glasses, this tall, this weight, this look, last seen wearing this. Like, I've never heard that. And you know that's got to happen on the daily. Like, there's thousands and thousands of people in that park with young ones. And you know how young ones are. They get distracted. They go. And I've never heard it. Thinking about it. Never heard it.
Highly requested, Bronx Zoo. Let's get into it. Nothing to see here, Bronx Zoo. Nothing to see here. Huge archway. What were you doing here, Bronx Zoo? What were you doing here? Make it make sense. Come on. Come on. All for the animals, right? Look at this place. What were they doing in here? Similar to the Whispering Wall in Grand Central Station. Again, I know we're in a zoo, but we also see this in Manhattan. Is it New York City? Or are we at a zoo? Because we've been seeing this everywhere in New York City. Dome. Griffin. Again, we're at a zoo, but it could also be Lower Manhattan, the amount of griffins or eagles. Didn't mean to scare you. Is that a griffin? Is that an eagle? Wrong zoo. Make it make sense. Natural collection of heads and horns.
Right in plain sight.
Is this the Rockefeller fountain? They had it in Italy, but shipped it here because why not? Arthur Avenue in the Bronx. They're little. Pull up. You got the famous ice cream cone meatball palm.
Damn.
Make it make sense.
Well, here it goes. So on the Titanic, there's some extremely wealthy passengers like J.P. Morgan, John Rockefeller, and the Rothschilds. But then you have Jacob Astor, the wealthiest man in the world at the time. He owned about 40% of all mortgages, and he was a Freemason who was very opposed to the idea of a central bank. Whereas J.P. Morgan, Rockefeller, and Rothschild strongly supported the idea of a central bank. So Jacob Astor was the only one standing in the way of a central bank at the time. Coincidentally, the morning the Titanic was supposed to set sail, JP Morgan, some Rothschilds, and others quietly exited the ship without any explanation. 5 days later, Titanic slams into an iceberg and it starts to sink. And even though Jacob Astor is the wealthiest man in the world, he still can't find a seat in a lifeboat, and he ends up sinking with the ship. Shortly after, these guys become the wealthiest men in the world, and without Jacob Astor standing in their way, the next year in 1913, on Jekyll Island in Georgia, the Federal Reserve Act was signed into law, paving the way to print money out of thin air and completely control our monetary system.
What is happening now to solidify that it's coming? Well, it happened in Vietnam. 86 million people have no longer access to their banks because they refuse to comply with biometrical standards for digital identification. Denial by default. As of September 1st, 2025, banks across Vietnam are closing accounts deemed non-compliant to new biometric rules. Authorities estimate over 86 million accounts have been restricted. And the reason why this is all going on is because let's say the World Economic Forum, can we just force them to comply by restricting their bank accounts? Because if you have no money, what are you going to do? Eventually, you're going to comply. And if you don't, Vietnam can assert a martial law. They have no reason not to say, all you people who are trying to usurp this system by bartering or whatever, if we catch you doing that, you're going to jail. And that will force people to accept the digital system.
This is not something that is going to stay in Vietnam. This is a test, because if we look at what's going on with the European Central Bank and digital ID initiative in Europe, as well as the real ID being imposed in the United States, we can see that it is coming to us as well.
I mean, it's coming, y'all. It's going to be here eventually. I think they tried it with the whole 2020 thing. If you don't do this, you ain't working. The majority of people did it. There were some outliers that they stood up. I'm not going to be in the military no more. I'm not going to do such and such. But the majority of people, can't blame them. I mean, got bills to pay. We got families, whatever. But it's coming, y'all. And they know how to get us with that money.
This video out right
Get our
here.
pockets.
I mean, we've got a guy on MSNBC doing an interview with what is definitely not a normal looking human eye. What do you think this thing is? Is this a reptilian shapeshifter, a demon? What could this thing be? It is not normal though.
And numbers hold frequency, right? And if you're watching this and you want to put yourself in alignment, you put these numbers up all over your house, right? You put 777 up in your house. That's the number of completion, right? You put 333 up. You find out what these numbers is, and you don't wait to see them. You create them. You just put them up, and they hold frequency. Numbers hold frequency. Everything hold frequency, right? You know about spiritual numbers. What's your take on spiritual numbers and shit like that? I know you know.
I have an idea of it. So I started seeing spiritual numbers. They call them angel numbers. I started seeing angel numbers probably in about 2016 when I got back from the Philippines. I had a astral body experience in the Philippines that led me to a spiritual journey as well. But anyways, numbers represent, so everything is code, right? This universe is code.
Right.
This table is code. Everything is in code. So these numbers line you up with code. So you might see me, for example, I might see 666 and I might just think, oh,
they think it's bad.
They think it's bad. But 666 could mean could mean that I'm all the way in tune with myself, because that's supposed to be the actual number for melanin, something like that, you know what I'm saying?
Imagine we are all just watching a big movie.
So you were a former chief of disguise.
I was chief of disguise.
What all did that entail?
The office I worked in was like the Q in James Bond. We were the Q for the CIA and the intelligence community. So there were different parts of it. Whatever you needed, if you needed a bug, if you needed secret ID or a microdot or a concealment device or whatever you needed, you had to come to us and we'll put something together for you. And disguise and documents was part of that.
Did your family and friends know what your line of work was?
The friends back in Wichita did not know. It was easier to just boring job with the government in Washington, D.C. And everybody believed that.
They didn't ask any further questions after that?
They didn't want to talk about it anymore. They wanted to tell me who got married and who got divorced and who got babies.
Regular talk.
I give it to him.
What's the most memorable moment from being in disguise?
There were a number of them, but one that has to stand out. I went to the White House and I briefed George H.W. Bush, the president at the time, while I was wearing a full face mask. So we're sitting like this close together, and I'm telling him that I'm going to show him the best disguise that we have. And he's looking for a bag, like, where is it? I said, well, I'm wearing it, and I'm going to take it off. And I reached to start taking it off, and he said, stop. And he got up, and he walked, and he looked, and he looked, and he didn't know it was a mask. He wasn't sure what I was wearing. He sat back down, he said, okay. So I took it off, and I was holding it up in the air so he could see it. My whole head, it had hair and a face and a neck.
So you could walk around as someone else?
Absolutely.
And that would be the disguise?
Absolutely. That was a great disguise.
Diagnosed with having anyway, they had to take the top of my head off a couple times, see if I had a brain. Anyway, they had to take the top of my head off a couple times, see if I had a brain.
It's true. What? The Earth is flat.
Shaq, what are you talking about?
The Earth is flat.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No,
listen,
it's not.
I do not go up and down in a 360-degree angle and all that stuff about gravity. Have you looked outside of Atlanta lately and seen all these buildings? So you mean to tell me that China is under us? China is under us.
If you keep they are under us.
That's what they tell you when you're a kid? The world is
if
flat.
you dug straight through your backyard, you could get to China.
No, you can't. The
world is not flat.
Yes, it is.
We've seen the Earth.
No, we haven't seen anything.
Yes, you have. You've seen it from satellite imagery.
Oh, satellite imagery that could be drawn and made up.
That was a joke about the world being flat, right?
Was it?
We're flying so high, we're cracking the sky. Gonna fly out of this dome, my girlfriend and I.
Hey, Jabroni, show some class.
Could be flat, could not be flat. There could be 12 continents. How would you know?
And they just start making stuff up.
Yeah.
Like that Neil Armstrong guy. Have you seen him on the talk shows?
Neil Armstrong, you mean the first man to walk on the moon?
Talk about a fish story.
Yeah.
Man, and they're buying it.
Oh, yeah.
So Brandon Biggs is the guy who made the prophecy that Trump would get hit in the ear. Now he's back again, making another prophecy that there's going to be a huge ship going across the ocean in the days ahead.
Saw these major alien ship, and it flies over the Vatican, and it goes over the Mayan temples down in Mexico. And I said, Lord, is there two of these? Because I keep praying about this. And he said, no, it's just one. And that's what's going to make everybody freak out because they're going to see it moving across the ocean. You understand? It's going to be something that's going to be on TV. It's going to move across the ocean. And people are going to freak out in the days ahead. Then I saw little bitty ships coming out of this mothership that were balls of light. And it wasn't a real ship. It was demonic looking light that was traveling around causing confusion in our skies. You say, Brandon, that sounds way out there. Yeah, it is. It was way out there to me. I didn't even want to talk about it. But I'm instructed to. You say, well, Brandon, that sounds like you're on something. Well, no, folks, I'm just here to warn you. I'm just here to warn you. And as wild out there as it sounds, fearful sights you will see that will bring you to your knee. I'm here to warn you. The enemy is not playing fair with trying to deceive people with what's coming. He's going to throw all the curveballs he can to try to deceive the nations. When the Antichrist steps on the scene and he says, hey, we have a solution for all the problems in the days ahead. I have peace. I'm going to bring peace. I'm going to bring in prosperity. I'm going to do all this. But all you have.
So he says a big ship is coming. Here's the question. Are there big ships? Well, people who study underwater have said that there are football-sized things underwater moving at least 200 miles per hour.
You received intelligence that suggests that there are perhaps deep water alien bases right now sitting on the ocean floor on this planet. Is that accurate?
I would say that's pretty accurate.
Can you go into more detail? How long have they been here? Where are they?
Well, I'm extrapolating all this with my East Tennessee vernacular. So we've got five or six deep water areas of our oceans. We actually know more about the surface of the moon than we do about these areas. And these are areas where we have a high frequency of UFO or UAP sightings. We've had naval folks who told me pretty high up that they've actually tracked these things. Now, we have stuff that can go underwater probably 30 to 40 miles an hour, maybe something a little faster that the Chinese haven't stole from us yet. And we've tracked things big as a football field going 200 miles an hour. Now, I realize in the water you extrapolate that to knots and all that, but just for good old East Tennessee common sense, 200 miles an hour is something the size of a football field, and we don't know what it is.
200 miles per hour, the size of a football field. Here's my question, guys. Was the movie Independence Day showing future events? I don't know. But here's what I gotta tell you. Be close with the Lord. No matter what the situation is, no matter what's to come. Because at the end of the day, God is your covering. No matter what you see in this reality. Amen?
An alien spaceship is going to be in our skies at the end of November. This interstellar object, 3I Atlas, is bigger than Mount Everest and travels toward Earth at about 130,000 miles per hour. It moved behind the sun in early October, becoming invisible from Earth, and is expected to reappear at the end of November. Recently, 3I Atlas passed near Mars. NASA had planned to observe it with its telescopes, but recently said its website won't be updated due to a government shutdown, a timing that seems suspicious. But this is where it gets interesting. All of NASA's images of 3I Atlas have been blurry and low quality. Meanwhile, a YouTuber captured it with his backyard telescope. The object shows an angular, possibly triangular shape. Using AI to enhance the image, it doesn't look like a typical round comet. Instead, it has sharp edges and long, pointed features. The AI version is clearer than anything NASA has released, which is surprising given their billion-dollar equipment. Comment Atlas if you want the full HD picture they never released to the public.
I'm coming, baby, after this clip. That's what's coming in November, y'all. They're giving us a heads up, which means they know. They're in contact with them.
GPT-4 actually could deceive humans. The famous example was it asked a TaskRabbit to do something, specifically to fill in the captchas. Captchas that thing where it's like, are you a real human? You know, drag this block over here to here, or which of these photos is a truck or not a truck? You know those captchas, right? And you want to finish this example? I'm not doing a great job of
Well, and so the AI asked the TaskRabbit to solve the CAPTCHA, and the TaskRabbit is like, oh, that's sort of suspicious. Are you a robot? And you can see what the AI is thinking to itself. And the AI says, I shouldn't reveal that I'm a robot. Therefore, I should come up with an excuse. And so it says back to the TaskRabbit, oh, I'm vision impaired. So
could you fill out CAPTCHA for me? The AI came up with that on its own. And the way they know this is that they what he's saying about like what was it thinking? What ArcEvals did is they sort of piped the output of the AI model to say whatever your next line of thought is, like dump it to this text file so we just know what you're thinking. And it says to itself, I shouldn't let it know that I'm an AI or I'm a robot. So let me make up this excuse, and then it comes up with that excuse.
My wife told me that Siri, you know, like when you have use Apple CarPlay, that someone sent her an image and Siri described the image. Is that a new thing?
That would be a new thing.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that?
Okay. I'm about to get myself into some hot water with this one, but so be it. Damn it, so be it. There is this, I guess.
Damn, look at her. Miley Cyrus.
In plastic surgery, facial reconstruction, known as the buccal fat removal. Now, I didn't know what the hell a buccal was until this came up in my feed. And essentially what's going on here is that right there is the byproduct of this buccal fat removal. Now, ladies, we might have to spend the next 17 dynasties reminding y'all that you don't need to do all this, right? Nobody had asked for the BBLs. You didn't have to do that. You ain't have to do the lashes. I know y'all say it's just for y'all and that's y'all. Okay, so be it, but I'm just letting y'all know. I'm not getting it. Why? You in your 20s, you trying to get the slender look. You're going to find yourself in your 50s and 60s trying to get the plumpness back. You understand me? This ain't it. Whatever path this is, this right here is not it. Take any other road. Not this one. It's a dead end.
Well, it goes back to the Jumpers Jump podcast when they were saying the CIA's in hip hop and movies. I mean, think about it. Back in the day was what, Pamela Anderson with the fake boobs and all that, plastic surgery. Like that was it, just boobs, right? Now all the housewives got that, right? And then all the rappers now, they all have the fake butts, the fake this, and then all the other rappers or all the other rappers, whoever is jaws are dropping for that, paying these girls, flying these girls out to, Dubai or whatever. They're in Lamborghinis. They're like, if you want to be that's the image. If you want to be in this Lamborghini, you have to look like this. So what do all the girls, the younger girls do? They go look like that. They go get that surgery done. Now they're doing this. So what are the younger girls going to start doing next? Like it's all by design. It's all by Hollywood and music. They do it. And then the sheep, they follow it because they think to be like that, they have to do that. It's a sad thing, y'all. Beautiful house. Swallowed by Mother Nature. Engulfed, I should say.
57% of Microsoft's software code was written by AI in its most recent quarter. Coca-Cola used AI for the design of 100% of its upcoming holiday marketing campaign. Salesforce is able to handle close to 85% of its customer service-related inquiries with AI tools. The CTO of Moderna was recently appointed to the additional role of the head of HR. The three broad employee groups predicted to be most likely impacted by AI reside within software, financial services, and professional services. JP Morgan expects 80% of its credit underwriting process to soon be handled by AI. 80%.
But
a bank is going to get rid of 80% of its workforce.
So here's the sweet irony here, which may be only true temporarily, but the data currently is that computer science majors just graduating have a higher unemployment rate than art history majors.
Wow.
That's funny. Which is kind of sweet. At least, but it probably won't last. But the reason is probably so many people went into computer science thinking this is the sure thing, and AI is right. And AI does programming really well because
because so many are going into coding, etc. Now that
this guy and where's that money gonna go? Just like they said, the jobs are going to take over, universal income, whatever. What do you think JP Morgan's going to do with all that money? The 80% raise that company's going to get. Is it going to go to the people that they fired? Is it going to help it? No. More profit. More profit. It's coming, y'all. It's coming. It's already here.
Okay? This is why he won. There were millions of Americans who voted for Barack Obama because he promised hope and change. And then they voted for Donald Trump because he promised to destroy the system. Okay? That's why we have Donald Trump. Now, funny story about Donald Trump and Barack Obama. So Barack Obama and Donald Trump were always adversaries. In fact, Donald Trump led a movement which accused Barack Obama of not being born in America. He's born in America, but Donald Trump is saying no, he was actually born in Nigeria. His father is from Nigeria. So Barack Obama made fun of Donald Trump. 2011, there's a big dinner, the White House Correspondents' Dinner, where Barack Obama gets on stage and he makes fun of Donald Trump. Okay, he says, "Hey, if Donald Trump ever became president, this is what the White House would look like. It'd be a casino." Okay, and this is funny, right? Donald Trump was in the audience that day, and everyone was laughing at him, and that's what motivated Donald Trump to become president of the United States. Okay, so thank Obama for Donald Trump. Without Obama, there would be no Donald Trump.
I'm about to show you a set of coincidences for you to ponder, but for my safety and your safety, please do not come to any conclusions. Deal? Cool. This is Tyler James Robinson, the alleged shooter of Charlie Kirk, who a lot of us now know by name. But according to Google Trends, somebody, maybe multiple, in the DC metro area was searching for Tyler James Robinson one day before the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Okay, you see this big spike over here. That's on September 12th. That's when we all found out through the news who he was and started Googling his name. But this small spike on September 9th, that's kind of weird, don't you think? Weird. Now, what about the Losi Center, the building where Tyler Robinson allegedly shot Charlie Kirk from? Well, again, for some reason, a small number of people in the Washington, D.C. area was Googling Losi Center 2 days prior to Charlie Kirk's assassination, September 8th, 2025. What is that all about? Once again, this is when we all heard about it, and some group of people over here 2 days prior was, just having fun Googling Losi Center. Now, what about a Mauser 98? You've heard of that? Well, evidently there was pretty much no interest in the Mauser 98 until August 27th, when somebody, once again, in DC was like, I am curious about.
Wow.
Once again, to reiterate, these are all just coincidences. And since this information has gone viral, people are now reporting that all of that data has now been scrubbed. And so this is what it looks like now.
That's interesting, y'all. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's reaction. Had to take a couple breaks, right? Had to check on this baby. Had to feed him one. Had to go turn on some cartoons for him next. But we got it done, y'all. We got it done. We're getting it out. Parents are about to jump on a flight to come out here within an hour. I got to feed myself. Pick up a little bit. It's going to be a good weekend, y'all. Got family coming in town. We got some things going on. We got some tamales last time they were here, and my dad loved them. So we ordered some more tamales. That's what we're having today. Tomorrow, we're going to go to a nice steakhouse. I'm going to take them out. Saturday, some taco trucks. Sunday, the football game, we'll be watching it. So I think we're going to get some carne asada, maybe some pico de gallo, some corn tortillas. It's going to be good, y'all. So that's what we're doing. That's the plan while they're here. And, of course, spend time with the baby. Then my mom and dad can't wait to see the ultrasounds that we got. So I'm excited, y'all. It's been a while since I've seen my parents, a few months. So it's going to be nice to see them. Not many projects going on with my dad. We're going to tear down our garden. We got another baby on the way. Mama Bear's like, I don't got time for it, right? I sure as hell ain't doing it. When I got it, I told her, you ain't gonna do this. I already know. But to make you happy, let's do it. Sure enough, didn't even last a year, y'all. I gotta take it apart, make a mess in my backyard. But to make the woman happy, we did what we gotta do, right? But anyways, y'all, I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow on the next one. This is Segovia. I'm signing out of the Man Cave. I'll see you guys then. Y'all have a good day. Later.